Hey YouTubers, welcome back to our Desert Have a Garden. Today I want to show you how to make pancakes and waffles using our sourdough starter. So with this recipe we are going to get started first with our starter, and it'll be easiest to incorporate if we do the starter first. So I pour the starter out into a bowl. And we will need 2 cups of starter for this recipe. You can see that it's nice and sticky. So here's our starter. And it's like a dough, very sticky. I'm going to take 2 cups and put it into the bowl that I will be using to make the pancake mix. There's 1 cup and 2 cups. Okay, the next ingredient that we need is 2 cups of milk. You can use whatever kind of milk you like to drink, whether it be cow milk, goat milk, a nut milk, rice milk, soy milk. I like to use a macadamia nut milk, and that's what we find works best for our family. I like it better than the almond milk. It has a higher fat content, which I find is good for my kids. So 2 cups of milk. And I do the recipe in this order because it takes some whisking in order to get that milk and starter incorporated together. So I use a wire whisk, and it does take a bit. You want to make sure it gets in there. Now if your starter is less sticky, maybe you use a higher water ratio to the flour. It'll mix more easily. But I like to keep my starter sticky. It works better for bread doughs that way. And really just the extra effort of whisking this isn't really a big deal for me. Okay, so we're nice and mixed in. The next ingredient we use is pastry flour. And I like to use this organic pastry flour that I get from Azure Standard, and I will put a link in the notes below, just so you know if you want to order your flour there, or you can get it out of the grocery store. It takes 1 1/4 cup of flour. That was 1 cup, and here's my 1/4 cup. There we go. We also need some salt, and that actually takes 1 teaspoon of salt. I like to use real salt. You can use any type of Celtic sea salt. You like to have salt that has the minerals in it. Just healthier for you that way. So 1 teaspoon of salt, and we continue mixing in our ingredients using the wire whisk to get it nice and incorporated. Now when you're making regular pancakes, you don't want to overmix because it makes your pancakes tough, but this is different with sourdough starter. You cannot overmix it, and it will be sitting overnight. So you want to make sure that you do incorporate it very well. Okay, final ingredient for today is honey. So you need 1 teaspoon of honey. You can do more, I wouldn't do less, but it just kind of tones down the flavor a little bit. Okay, so there's our 1 teaspoon of honey mixed in. In the morning, I will be incorporating my oil. So I use coconut oil, and because this is going in the refrigerator, coconut oil will solidify in the refrigerator, If you're using a different kind of oil, like vegetable oil, that won't solidify, you could put it in right now, and that takes 2 to 4 tablespoons. If you're using a nut milk, you'll want to use 4 tablespoons. If you're using a cow milk or a whole milk, even like a whole coconut milk, only 2 tablespoons of oil. So this is it. We've got it nice and mixed up. I don't know if I can show you that without spilling. So there's our batter. It's kind of thin and all mixed up. And what I'll do is I'll cover it with saran wrap and leave it in the refrigerator overnight. And so you'll want to let it set for 8 to 24 hours in order to have that long fermenting process. So I will catch you all in the morning. Good morning, YouTubers. So we've had our batter sitting in the fridge overnight, and I pulled it out this morning. So obviously this is a lot thinner than what our normal bread dough looks like, so it's pretty runny. I'll get you a close-up on that pretty quick here. But I actually need to mix in the coconut oil now, which I have over here, excuse me for the close-up. Okay, so we have coconut oil. We need to stir in 4 tablespoons. And you can see I have it melted and liquidy right now. Now coconut oil will solidify very quickly once it goes into the batter because that's cold and refrigerated. So I will be using a whisk to whisk it in quickly to make sure it incorporates evenly. So I'll measure out 4 tablespoons. And then immediately start whisking it into the batter. Okay, so now it's mixed in nicely, and we have our waffle maker over here. It's all warmed up. It just beeps saying that it's heated up, and so I will show you how we pour that in. Okay, here's our batter, and you can see how thin it is. It's not like super runny, but it is definitely thinner than a dough typically is. And so it's nice and mixed up. The coconut oil is mixed in. If you're using butter or vegetable oil, I suppose you could use, that should mix in fine and it won't have an issue with solidifying. So here's our waffle maker. I love to use this double waffle maker by Cuisinart because we have a big family and it's like torture waiting for one waffle at a time. So this one makes 2 at a time. I get a scoop using a 1 cup measuring cup and pour it into the center, and it doesn't use the full cup. Then we just close it down. Here I wait 30 seconds before I turn it over, and then I add mix to the other side. Now you can grease the waffle maker, but I find with the non-stick surface and with the fat added to the mix, I don't have any issue with the waffles sticking. So we'll turn it over to this side and get another waffle started. Typically with both hands, obviously, I would hold the bowl over to prevent any dripping, but trying to film with one makes it a little more difficult. So we allow those to cook until they're nice and crisp on the outside, and we'll get some pancakes started while we're waiting. Okay, we've got our hot pan over here for pancakes. I just threw in some butter. You can use oil if you prefer. So you just get some butter in there. It is a non-stick pan, so it is not entirely necessary, but at the same time, I don't know, more butter is better. You pour in some pancakes, just like you would with a normal batter, and then you allow them to cook, and once they get the bubbles on the surface is when you flip them over. And let's go check on those waffles. And you can see the waffle maker steaming. When it's steaming, that means it's still cooking, but I don't think you can tell in the video. The steam is actually coming from the bottom layer right now, not the top layer. So the top one should be done. It does have a green light on. I don't trust the timer on the machine. I do have it set on the number 4 setting is the one that I prefer to have it on, but at the same time I still always check for doneness, and this one does look very nice. So it's crisp and crunchy on the outside, and I like to just use my hands to pull it out. And there you go, look at that. a beautiful waffle, nice and ready to eat. And so then you just repeat, adding more mix to the machine, and I find that this makes approximately 7 waffles if you're just making waffles. Here you see the bubbles forming on the surface of the pancakes, so they are ready for a flip. Excuse my clumsiness when I'm trying to film at the same time, looking through a camera. There we go, so we just flip them over and allow them to cook on the other side, and then they will be ready to devour. Of course, you can put whatever kind of toppings you like on these pancakes or waffles and just enjoy them as you normally would. But they are easier to digest because they have been long fermented overnight, and so the wheat has, the gluten in the wheat has been broken down, and it's much healthier for your body to eat that way. Here you have it with your sourdough starter, a nice plate of waffles and pancakes if you should desire them. My kids like to have butter and honey or jelly on them, so you can put whatever you like, maple syrup or however you like them. So give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more updates in the future.